How's it going, everybody? Driver53 here, and today we're going to be doing a follow-up to a video that I just recently released. And in that video, we discovered that there are 3 different size rocks. And in this video, we're going to go over if you can roll those, how much you get whenever you pick them, and if you can plant with them still in the field. I'm going to link that earlier video up above so you can go check it out for yourself. And if you want to stay up to date on any future videos that we do here on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell too. Let's jump into it. Here we are on the soil composition menu, and as you can see, we've got a bunch of filters over on the right, and the one that I want to select is stones. And whenever I do, we turn this on and you can see I have yellow, orange, and red now showing up on my map, and that's where all of your stones are located at. And we learned in the earlier video that that is going to be small, medium, and large. Let's go take a look at exactly what those look like. These right here are the small stones. Here you have the medium-sized stones, and last we have the large stones. The first test we're going to run is to see if we can actually push these stones back down in the ground with a roller. In base game, we have 2 different pieces of equipment that you can use. They're both by Dalabo, and one is the Power Roll 1230 HD, and the other one is the Mega Roll 2430. The difference in these is the Power Roll 1230 HD is only going to be 12.3 meters wide. It goes 7 miles an hour though. And then the Mega Roll 2430 is 24.3 meters wide. So it's almost double the width, goes the same mile an hour, but it takes 350 horsepower compared to 160. What we're going to do is send the tractor all the way across the field, 1 pass down and 1 pass back. We're going to go back and look at the map to see if the stones were actually pushed down. And then we're going to do the same thing for the medium-sized stones and the large-sized stones. As expected, the small stones were pushed back down into the ground. Let's jump back over to the menu and see if the medium and large rocks were also. Well, it doesn't look like they were, and I wasn't expecting the large rocks to be, but maybe the mediums. So it looks like we're going to have to pick the rocks for the medium and the large size. So let's go take a look at that equipment. The first option in base game is going to be the Degelman Signature 7200. It's going to have a capacity of 2.3 cubic meters. Next is going to be the Degelman Rock King 9600. It's going to have a capacity of 3.8 cubic meters. And then the Elho Scorpion 550, this one's going to hold 2 cubic meters of product. But there's something really interesting about it that I want to show you as a reason why you might want to use this one instead of the other 2. But let's go ahead and jump over to the field. As you can see, we have the Elho rock picker right here. What we're going to do, we're going to send these workers off and have them complete the same number of passes up and down the field for each type of stone that we have here. And then we're going to look at the amount that is collected off the field. I have a suspicion that the bigger rocks, you're going to collect more off your field, even though it shows that there's less dots on the field. That's just a hunch. Let's go ahead and get this one started. All right, so we are done. As you can see, we did 4 passes with each one of these rock pickers here. And for the small stones here, you can see that we got 163 liters. Let's go check on the medium-sized rocks. And for these, you can see that we had 338 liters. And that seems like as we get larger in the rocks, it is going to collect more for us. But let's go confirm over on the large rocks. And yes, that is confirmed because here on the large rocks, we collected 458 liters. So that's pretty cool. The bigger the rocks, the more you're going to collect and the more mass you're going to have to be able to go sell. And speaking of selling, I mentioned it earlier that it might be a good idea to get this machine right here instead of one of the other rock pickers. Let me go show you why I say that. Here we are at the debris crusher. Now this is built into Elm Creek map, but if you're playing on a map that doesn't have one of these rock crushers, you can purchase one of these. What you're going to need to do is come over here to construction, and then you're going to want to go across to production, and then you want to go down to selling points. Whenever you come down here, it should be right here. There you go. Debris crusher, $10,000. All you need to do, bring it out, and then you can rotate it around and put it wherever you want. Since we already have one right there, I'm not going to place a new one, but that's where you can find it at. And as you can see, there are 2 different places to unload your product. With the yellow ones that are base game, the only place that you can unload it directly is down there on the bottom section. But if you have a trailer that you're filling up with a bucket or something like that, you can unload it up on the top also. And this piece of machinery right here will dump off to either one of them. That's why I really like this Elho. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and back up to the lower one. And we're going to try and put half of our product in here. So about 225 liters is how much I want to put in here. So let's see if we can do it. Well, unfortunately, we put about 3/4 of the load in there, but we made $30. So we made $30 on 3/4 of the load. Now let's go ahead and empty up in the top section and see what the price difference is. All right, so you can see that we made $19 on about 25. So if we had the whole load, it would be almost $80. And the other way, since we put in like 3/4 of it and got 30, that would only been about $40 for the entire load. So I feel like dumping up here in the top is a lot more profitable, but this is the only one that you can do it with directly. So like I said, if you've got a trailer and a front loader bucket, something like that you're putting up into that trailer, and then you bring it over here and unload, that way works too. But if you don't have any of those extra pieces of equipment and you only have a rock picker, I recommend getting this one. You're going to be able to dump right in there. I know it's smaller capacity, you're going to be making more trips, but it is a little bit bigger width, so you can get your smaller fields done a little bit quicker. And the final test that we're going to be doing here today is we're going to run a seeder across the rocks. We're not going to remove them out. We're just going to see, can you put the seeds down? Now, it's probably going to damage the equipment a little bit faster than if you did it over on a rolling state, but we're going to look at that in another video. Let's go ahead and jump in here and see what our results are. All right, here we are. These are the small rocks, and you can see that we do have wheat in the ground, and it's growing. Here are the medium-sized rocks, and once again, you can see we have wheat in the ground. It's growing also. And surprisingly, even the large rocks, you can go ahead and put wheat in the ground, and it's growing also. I don't think realistically you're going to want to seed or plant with these rocks in the ground because it's going to do a lot of damage to your equipment. But we don't know how much yet. Luckily, I'm going to be starting on the next video right now, taking a look at how much damage is done to your equipment if you leave the rocks in the ground. And if you want to stay up to date on that video or any of the other tutorial videos that we're doing here for Farming Simulator 22, especially after the patch 1.2 update, consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you do, make sure you hit that notification bell. Have a great day, night, evening, everybody. Until next time, this is Driver 53, signing off.